everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another sacred channeling here on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections. Holy cow, the month of June is just accelerating everything, isn't it? It is just kind of rocking our world in a good way, it feels, especially after the past couple of months. It just feels like it is heightened energy. We have been channeling that there is this forward momentum that was coming in, and we are absolutely seeing it here in the month of June going forward. I do feel like the solstice is going to be a major playing part for us, a major supportive energy, so do stay tuned because we will have some more on that solstice energy. Heading into the Lion's Gate, I'll be doing a channeling just for the solstice energy coming up in the next couple of weeks. But I want to talk about some of the energies that I have been receiving, a lot of clarity and a lot of understanding coming in with regards to the journey, with regards to sacred partnerships, with regards to the kind of split that we've been experiencing in the collective. So I'm going to talk about all of it. Some of it's going to be a recap. Some of it is going to be new stuff that I've channeled. So the first thing that I want to recount is a dream that I had a couple of nights ago. I have been channeling the phrase, if you guys watch my other channel, I think I may have talked about it in the recent sacred channeling as well, but if you watch my main channel, Susan Dawn Spiritual Connections, I had channeled in a reading there that we are breaking free from the matrix of this connection, especially like the twin flame energy, breaking free from the matrix, especially for the divine feminine, and the divine masculine is to follow. So this matrix is the hologram, it's the illusion, it's the simulation, and we're really breaking free from it as we're walking our sacred path. Couple of nights ago, I had a really interesting dream. I was in a college setting, and I'm assuming it was college because it was like all those brick buildings. It reminded me of my alma mater, actually. My divine counterpart was there in a classroom. I remember seeing him, but we didn't interact. It was like we were experiencing learning, whatever it was that we were learning. Then I ended up taking my dogs for a walk, and it was the dogs that I had when I was in childhood. So I knew that they were there coming in to kind of like anchor me, ground me, and protect me. Because my dogs are like my guardians. They truly are. So these dogs that I just adored growing up, my childhood dogs, I was taking them for a walk. And as I was walking, and the streets were pretty empty, as I was walking, I remember looking over and seeing like this shadowed energy. And I'm calling it shadowed energy because I don't know how else to explain it. You know how in the Truman Show, Truman is on the boat. He feels like he is escaping his world, where he is just out on the vast sea. He's leaving his town. He's finally left, and he's really excited. And he's seeing the shadow in front of him, and as he goes along on the sea, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the boat actually crashes into a wall and is actually the edge of a biodome. It kind of reminds me of that, in that it feels like it was, well, it reminded me of like Antarctica. I don't know how else to explain it, the way it looked. How kind of white and just uncolored everything really is, because of the ice. These coldish colors of blues and whites. That's what it looked like. It looked, for lack of a better term, unpixelated, uncolored. Whereas the rest of the world, that little college campus thing that I was on, very bright, vibrant, very pixelated in a sense, but this wasn't. And it was just a corner, just a glimpse of it, just a corner where it felt just very like it wasn't filled in, it wasn't colored in, almost like if it was a video game, like somebody forgot to fill in that portion of the video game, so it just was so you could see the difference between the version where you're playing in and like the part that was kind of unattended to, for lack of a better phrase. So anyway, I'm walking and nothing quite really happens, but I'm walking and it's only this observation. I'm observing, oh, that's, not really filled in. What's over there? There was nothing over there. And I'm understanding that this is the matrix, and that over there is the matrix that is unattended to, or that is the matrix that hasn't been created yet. And so when I woke up, I understood more and more you just freed yourself from the matrix. And what I was actually seeing was the matrix. They were showing me what the matrix actually was, how it is a video game, how it is a simulation, how it is a hologram, how we create it. And that part over there wasn't filled in yet. That's the part that we are creating. I'm saying over there because that's where it was in retrospect to where I was, in respect to where I was. And so that part over there is what wasn't created yet. We're still building, we're still creating. But you have to free yourself from what you thought the journey was. You have to free yourself from the matrix itself in order to create new, in order to fill in with what your creations are. Because there's a new grid that we're laying down, the new earth energy. We are here in physical form for a purpose. We are here having a physical experience for a purpose. But we don't have to adhere to the old. Now, that doesn't mean that you just create anarchy. I mean, I guess some might be anarchists. But it doesn't mean that you just create chaos and say, fuck the systems and fuck the world and just destroy everything. That dismantling is happening. We're seeing that in our physical reality. You don't deny your physical reality as it is in the present moment, but you are in every present moment creating more of that physical reality, and that's what the dream was showing me. It's showing me, yes, this is the matrix, and we are creating it in every given moment. If you yourself are making the same decisions, habits, behaviors, if you are continuing in the same beliefs without considering other beliefs, without considering other patterns, without doing that healing work, that remembrance work, which is what the Ascension journey is all about, then you are just perpetuating the old paradigm. You're perpetuating the old matrix. Where you break free is where you are healing, where you are creating new patterns, creating new templates for yourself. You can't do it for anybody else. You can't control anybody else. You do it for yourself, and that has a ripple effect on the rest of the world. And so what's happening is we are, from this present moment, collectively creating the new earth grid. New timelines, new experiences, new systems, new relationships, new everything. So the old is dismantling, and we're feeling some of that chaos and seeing some of that chaos. So it is dismantling. At the same time, we are building the new. And that's where we are freeing ourselves from the matrix of the old, is because what I'm hearing is the phrase new thought. New thought, meaning new beliefs, new patterns, new understandings, deeper connections to ourselves and to others. So really, really interesting energies. I'm going to be talking about that even more going forward, because I really feel like this solstice energy and this Lionsgate energy is going to be really pivotal for collective energy. Okay, that being said, and again, we're going to explore that further, so hang in there for me. That being said, I had pulled out the Little Prince deck to use a couple of nights ago, and I wasn't feeling it. I tried doing some channelings, but I wasn't feeling it. I channeled a lot last week. I was experiencing my own stuff over the weekend, and so finally I decided to do a written channeling with that deck, and what came out was these three cards. It was the Eight of Pentacles, it was the Knight of Pentacles, and it was the Four of Wands. So when I saw the Eight of Pentacles, rather than, usually when I'm doing readings, it's just the energy that comes in. Whatever message, whatever deck I'm using, it's just a message that comes through. But when I saw the Eight of Pentacles, they reminded me of the actual story of the Little Prince, the book from which this deck is inspired. And it's the book, The Little Prince. So I had read this when I was in French class, way back when in high school. It is one of my favorite books. It speaks a lot about childhood, especially as mature adults, to don't forget your childhood, or don't forget the innocent nature of childhood. There's a lot of wisdom in it, a lot of philosophy in it. I adore this book. Also, it's a reminder too, as grown-ups, as adults, and they call it grown-ups in the book. As adults, though, you balance that out with the innocent nature of your inner child. That's the balance here. in the spiritual world, we are learning how to balance out our spiritual self with our physical form, not forgetting that we are having this human experience for a purpose, and that's grounding in the spiritual nature of ourselves. That's what Ascension truly is about. It's about elevating our spirit, shifting our frequency into higher consciousness within the physical form. So I'm going to share, when I saw this Eight of Pentacles, it's like they showed me the entire story of, especially when it comes to sacred partners, of the Little Prince and the Rose, because there's a bit of a story. It's kind of like little stories within one story in the book. And so there's a story between the Prince and the Rose. And so I'm just going to read what I had written because it's easier, quite frankly. Okay, so I had done this as a sacred channeling. In the book, The Little Prince, which this deck is based on, the little prince falls in love with a beautiful rose. He takes care of her, nurtures her. The rose, in her vanity and pride, takes the prince's love for granted. Heartbroken, the prince decides to leave his home and explore the universe. The rose realizes too late how foolish they've both been. She says, "How silly we've been, how silly we've been." She was silly in not showing how she did truly love him, and he was silly in how he failed to understand her and how she was able to communicate. She failed to communicate, she failed to show her actions, she failed to express her love for him, and he, in turn, failed to really understand that she did her best in trying to show her love for him. Though he encounters other roses on his travels, none are like his. Because of his love for her, the rose becomes unique, more special and precious than any other rose. This felt huge. When I remembered the story of the rose and the prince, it felt really profound, really poignant. The energy of this reading, this is what I had gotten as soon as this card came out. The energy of this reading reminds me of the story of the little prince and his love for his rose. How easy it is for love to be found and lost through miscommunication, misunderstandings, and misconceptions. After all, love grows where it is nurtured. And that was the key phrase. Love grows where it is nurtured. That's what I had received. How easy it is for it to be miscommunicated or misunderstood or misconceived. How easy it is for us to just allow for that, without repairing relationships, without repairing communication. How easy it is for love to be lost. Just as easy as it is for it to be found, how easy it is for us to let it go. So this is then what I channeled with regards to sacred partnerships. I feel as if someone has been working hard to understand love, either within their own belief systems or how they're viewed and experienced relationships. There's an energy of missteps here. I'm hearing, quote, "I never quite knew what to do with the love that was given and shown to me." This created barriers in connection and a closing down of the heart. While there is great love and affection, that was never adequately expressed to the point where either partner could understand and receive it. I then said, this reading feels like it's split into two groups, and this is the split that we've been really feeling. For some, you or your partner are focused on nurturing the bonds of love by planting new seeds. This is new actions, new behaviors, new mindsets that are fully in the embodied expression of love. This is with an intent to express this love fully. The Knight of Pentacles here feels like the Knight of Cups to me. It's a grounded emotion with a tangible showing of this expression. It's not just the words, but the embodiment of action that is going to renew the connection into a higher level of commitment, happiness, and celebration of love with this Four of Wands energy. For others, you've walked away from a situation where love wasn't expressed or fully nurtured, and now you're focused on only nurturing the bonds of love that are clearly reciprocated. You too are moving towards a new relationship full of celebration, joy, and happy love. So the ending, the outcome, let's put that, is the same. Joy, happiness, love, reciprocated energy, healthy relationship, secure as in the secure, healthy kind of attachment. But the way it goes about it, or the way it happens, the way it unfolds, might be a little bit different for everybody. That's where that kind of split energy is coming in the connection, or in the collective. It's going to look a little bit different for everybody. So I channeled a little bit more. You can check out the Sacred Union Energy update that is being posted today as well. I'll put a link in the description box so you can check that out. I channeled a little bit more about what the Divine Masculine is experiencing and what the Divine Feminine is experiencing. However, some more happened. Yesterday was a very emotional day wherein I was just allowing myself to observe and feel whatever emotion came up. And I spent some time at the lake because that's where I do my thinking and my meditation and my quiet time. And as I was driving back, I had this experience where I could, like in my third eye, I had this vision of somebody in the passenger seat with me. And it felt like new energy. It felt really good, really grounded, really loving. It felt like new energy. And it was almost like I had this, after that one vision, it was almost like I had this all at once, this understanding of this is partnership, this is my partner, this is grounded love, this is healthy love, this is reciprocated love, fully reciprocated. It was almost like I was allowing myself to receive everything that I've desired in relationship that I wasn't seeing in my relationship in the past. Communication, expression, just this healthy, really healthy nature. And I was really confused about it. I did not understand it. I didn't fully understand what it was that I was experiencing, what it was that I was receiving. And I allowed myself to sit with it. And what I was saying or was hearing was, well, what I was saying to myself was, this is the love that I want. This is a relationship that I want. This is the partnership that I want. This is what I love, or this is the love that I deserve. This is the love that I'm worthy of. And then I heard God say, no, Susan, this is the love that you already are. This is the love that you already are. And so that felt really pivotal for me to allow myself to receive that, which I hadn't been able to fully do or embrace in the past because it felt like there were so many triggers. It felt like there were so many challenges. It felt like there were so many obstacles. And it felt like not just my past relationship and my connection, but in every relationship, it felt like I was always asking for too much when I was just asking to be loved in the way that I know how to be loved, in the way that I give love, and in the way that I'm able to receive love. It felt like it was too much, and it's not too much. It's not too much to want to be loved. It's not too much to want to be in relationship. It's not too much to want to be in healthy connection. You are not too much. So I slept. There's a lot of energy moving through me. So I slept really soundly last night, and there was so much clarity and understanding. And when I woke up, I channeled a different message. Well, another message, I should say. So let me share that now. What I channeled was especially a message for the Divine Feminines. And we said this: the past several weeks, things may have looked or felt chaotic, even as you've settled into a place of peace and joy within, particularly for you Divine Feminines, that sacred union, that inner union energy of peace and joy that we've been feeling despite what the physical world shows to us. You might be looking at your external reality and feel like you were somehow regressing on your journey based on physical evidence or lack thereof. So you kind of might have gone back and forth between this feeling of, I don't need anything, I feel whole within, to what the hell's happening, especially with my connection? What's happening in my life? Nothing's happening, everything's stagnant. So you might have been kind of going back and forth. Even though you could feel the expansion and the anticipation of what's being newly created within. So that's where the peace was coming from. But then you're looking at your external world and you're like, what the hell's going on? I don't really understand this. Remember, this was all about alignment. Because of the inner work you've done, the physical reality you'd previously created no longer fits the energetic signature of who you are. I've been channeling that. I have some readings here on the channel regarding that, going back the past couple of months. This has all been part of the process. Your physical world had to be disassembled in order to realign to the new higher vibration that you now hold. This may have led to numerous changes in your physical world, including home life, jobs or careers, relationships, or even a perceived separation within your sacred partnership. Again, this was because your connection couldn't hold the new energy that you're in. Again, we've channeled this previously. You were in an old energy of yourself. This current moment was a previous creation of yours. This present moment that you're in right now was a previous creation. So the previous life that you were living, for me, it was the home that I was in. That was manifested from a previous version of myself. Now it's like a new chapter because it's a new version of me. And so my life has to realign and look a little bit different to match that new frequency. So particularly when we're talking about masculine and feminine energy, the masculine energy is the container. It's the structure, the balance, and the stability for the flow of the feminine energy. As the feminine expands, the masculine naturally rises to meet her to be that safe and sacred space for her energy. Within that place of honoring, the feminine creates and magnifies the energy that the masculine offers her in grounded and physical form. For example, the masculine energy provides a house that the feminine energy then turns into a home. Even if you yourself, as a female feminine energy, are buying your own house, that's your own masculine energy within you that's providing for you. And then you turn it into a home by decorating it, by coloring it up, by your creativity. So that's your inner masculine and feminine energies working in unison, working in union, in partnership, in physical partnership with another embodied person. This looks like a balanced connection where both individuals grow and nurture one another in their gifts, their conscious power, and creating their world together. This is creation. This is partnership. So it's not one person doing all the work. It's both of you creating together. And communication is the key for that. Expression is the key to that. Because being on the same page is the key to that. And you only do that through communication. Again, what was the rose and the prince? What happened there? That love was lost. There was heartbreak there on both ends because there was so much miscommunication. There was so much misunderstanding. There was so much misconceptions because that love, that affection, that expression was withheld. So that previous connection that you had with your counterpart up until this point was based on your healing journey. The triggers, the traumas, the pain patterns, all coming up to be released for your growth, expansion, and evolution into higher consciousness. You've reached a critical point in your ascension where the old has been stripped away in order for love to exist in greater capacity than the pain that was experienced. So now you're learning about love rather than stripping away the pain. So you had to experience the pain in order to release it, but now it's about love versus the pain. The focus had been connection-oriented and thus partner-oriented. Recently, you've been asked to focus on your individual paths of self-empowerment so that you can continue to ascend into and embody the higher self, your true soul essence. Both of you experiencing this. Divine Feminines, you might be feeling this especially. Recent separation with your counterpart showed you yourself in beautiful ways, triggering heightened expansion and anchoring in your inner union. There has been embodied peace and joy breathing new life into your world. Your inner masculine has you feeling stable, secure, and honoring of the flow of your core feminine essence. You feel your counterpart's energy with you as loving energy despite the perceived separation in the physical world. Thus fully understanding that there is not and never has been separation. That separation is the illusion. There has been no need for or attachment to the physical state of things. You recognize your partner is doing what they need to do. You're honoring their journey. And there might be, desire. There might be some missing. But you are just so fully embodied in your joy, your love, your peace. And you feel your masculine with you. You feel that anchored in. You are whole. You are not seeking outside of yourself for anything. You are not attached to anything. You are not lacking anything. There is no separation. It's that energy of, I'm getting called to The Alchemist. The Alchemist is a really beautiful book by Paulo Coelho, where he goes on a journey. The main character, I'm forgetting the name. I think it's Santiago. I'm forgetting the name right now. But he goes on this journey and he meets this woman and there's such divine love between them. But he still has a journey that he needs to learn about himself from. And it's going to take him back full circle to each other, but he really has to explore first and understand himself. And I think her name's Mariana. I cannot remember. It's been a while since I read it. She just recognizes, the love that is between them and says, you still need to go on your journey. You have more to learn. You have more to recognize about yourself. You have more awareness. Doesn't stop the love. The love doesn't cease. That is unconditional love. And you know that no matter where they are in the world, that you love them and that they love you. And that's the only thing that really matters. It's not the only thing that really matters, but that is the core tenet of what unconditional love really is. So you're recognizing that inner union, that there's no separation, that no matter where you are in the world, the love exists. So this inner union, and that's what it is, it's inner union. This inner union is quickly aligning you to outer union. However, here is where we have a bit of a split in the collective energies and how that might be perceived. So this is where the split's coming in. For some, your embodied masculine counterpart is experiencing the same evolution. As you continue aligning to your highest version of yourself through your continued work, your counterpart is mirroring this with a desire for his own growth and betterment. This is showcasing itself in lifestyle changes such as new jobs or careers, a better handling or responsibility of finances, ending or mending of relationships. There's a newfound sense of self-awareness and understanding that is lending itself to deeper connection within. He is recognizing the choices he made for his life up until this point and is consciously choosing new ways that honor his soul and that therefore honor the relationships around him. He's recognizing that the relationship one has with themselves is a relationship they have with life. For others, the embodied masculine counterpart, the person who has been your activation or catalyst to your own growth and expansion, is in resistance to themselves and thus in resistance to life, which leads to a dishonoring of this connection. They might be falling back into old patterns, beliefs, and mindsets that are perpetuating karmic cycles. Release judgments and any pain patterns that triggers attachment to your own continued cycle. Don't get yourself drawn into the continued cycle that you were in with this person. Allow yourself to release the judgment, allow yourself to release attachment, and continue on your sacred path. That's the most important part. Hold compassion for yourself and the counterpart as you shift and hold the higher energetic frequency that you have already shifted into. Hold that frequency. This separation, for some, you might be releasing this person entirely. This separation is a type of divine protection as you continue to grow towards what you are now in alignment with. Your person is growing with what they're in alignment with, and if it's in a lower vibrational energy, then they're going to still be attracting that into their life. If they're shifting, then they're going to be attracting a new frequency energy. You yourself are in a higher frequency, so you're only aligned to that higher frequency. So don't get yourself drawn back into that lower energy. Allow yourself to release that. Allow yourself to detach from it. Allow yourself to move on. Divine Feminines. This might be causing some confusion for you. You've been focused on your own sacred path and creating an abundant and beautiful new reality for yourself, thinking about what you wish to experience in physical reality in this lifetime, because it is your life too. It is your journey too. That's your self-empowerment. Do not forget yourself, especially for the sake of others. We are not sacrificing anymore. We are not playing the martyr anymore. We are in this together, and that is where we have to recognize and support and uplift each other, but do not sacrifice yourself and your happiness for others. That is the old energy. That is the old paradigm. The more you heal yourself, the more you honor yourself, and that's what it's about. Honoring yourself. It's not about the material stuff. We're not talking about that. We're not talking, the material is the after effect. It is the ripple effect. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about truly honoring yourself, not abandoning yourself or betraying yourself. That's where you do not sacrifice yourself. You do not betray yourself. You do not abandon yourself, and you do not dishonor what your soul is telling you, what your heart is telling you. So, where was I? So you're thinking about what you wish to experience in physical reality in this lifetime. That is your sacred journey. You are on a sacred journey for yourself too. Again, it doesn't negate other people. We're all in this journey together, but you cannot negate your own journey for the sake of others too. So this may lead you to wondering about your connection, especially for those of you who are feeling or experiencing the universal conscious masculine in your energy field. You might find yourself in an internal battle between your mind and your heart, trying to figure out what's going on in your connection and which partnership path you're being led towards. You might be wondering, well, which one is it? Am I meant to move on and release this person, or is this person transforming? Know that the universal conscious masculine energy in your energy field is there for a purpose. It's because you are already aligned to that frequency, and thus it's prepared to show up. It doesn't have a choice. It's prepared to show up. Allow yourself to receive the conscious masculine in whatever form it appears, either in the transformed energetic state of the person you know as your counterpart, or in another individual who is a divine match to you. This new person or this new energy will embody everything you loved in the past with everything that you know you were desiring. Your sacred union is a reflection of you. You are deserving and worthy of this love because you are love. And so what I was also receiving is this is more surrender. And I know we hate that word. This is the ultimate surrender. This is God asking, can you trust me to bring forth what is meant for you? To know you, that God knows you so well, even better than you know yourself right now. And that's the work that you do, connecting to yourself, to connect to God. But God knows you so well. God knows what is in your heart. And so God is trying to align you to what is a match to you, a perfect match to you. It doesn't mean that you're not going to experience, it doesn't mean that you're going to experience perfection in your relationship, because relationships are meant to help us grow and expand. But it's partnership. It's about doing it together. It's about healing together. It's about learning together. It's about growing together. And you do that by nurturing each other and honoring the connection. When you think about the rose and the little prince, the connection wasn't honored. The connection wasn't reciprocated, or it didn't display itself as reciprocated. The little prince, the thorns were so thick, that shield was so thick around the rose, that it was like the little prince, no matter how much he nurtured her, couldn't get through and couldn't feel or receive that love back to him. Couldn't understand that the rose actually loved him too, because her mask, her wall was so high that she didn't allow herself to express that to the prince. And so the prince was heartbroken, and he left his asteroid, he left his home planet, and the rose was heartbroken. And oh, how foolish, she says, how foolish we've been, because it's almost like it was too late. Now, there is no too late in the universe. There is no timing on this. But it's about nurturing love, because we're about embodying love now. And the more you embody love, the more you're connecting to the love within yourself, the more you recognize your ability and your desire to give that love and express that love to others. So surrendering to what that love needs to look like, how that love is supposed to be, or in what form that love is supposed to take. When we're talking about relationships, as far as these divine connections, it's about surrendering to what we thought the journey was and who we thought we were journeying with, and just allowing ourselves to receive the universal conscious masculine energy. The more we embody and embrace that, the more that's going to show up in physical form in a human vessel. On the opposite end, the more the masculine embraces, embodies the feminine energy and honors the feminine energy, the more that's going to show up for them. It's going to align. And for many of you, it's going to be aligning together with the person because you've been doing that work. And for others, it's going to be another relationship that is just going to embody everything. If you thought, it's almost like this. You've always wanted the highest state of your divine masculine, divine feminines. You've always seen their higher self, and you've always wanted that higher self to be embodied. That higher self is just their full, authentic soul self, expressing love, honoring you, honoring themselves, just wanting the best for themselves. That higher state is aligning to you because you're in that higher state. And so it's either that transformed person who has had that self-awareness, who has been on their journey, and who is coming in as your partner, Or it's somebody else who reminds you of your partner, has all the qualities of your partner that you love, but also has all the stuff that was kind of lacking in that connection, all the stuff that you were desiring that just never felt like it was growing with you. Again, love grows where it is nurtured. And you can't do all the nurturing yourself. You have to nurture each other. So we're going to end it here because I don't have anything else to channel or anything else to say, but we are going to be continuing with this energy. Check out the reading that I did, and we're going to be continuing with this energy because there's a lot more understanding, there's a lot more clarity, there's a lot more unfolding that is occurring. This might feel like an upset to many people. This might be triggering to many people because this isn't the way that the journey was promised, but this is your journey, and it is what you make of it. And as long as you are in the state of joy and just allowing yourself to receive love and not having expectations of who or what that looks like, you are aligning to what is right for you. You are aligning to that divine match. And it is going to bring you so much joy and so much happiness because that is who you are. That is who you are. There is not going to be lack. If we're releasing somebody entirely, it's so hard because we had so many expectations around that one person. But it is the energy, it is the love. So just allow yourself to surrender and continue on your path in the energy of love and joy, and that will naturally align to you. I'm just hearing this energy of trust in God, trust in the universe, just trust. Trust in yourself and what your own soul is creating that your mind might not be able to comprehend or see just yet. All right, guys, we're going to have a money channeling coming soon. Hopefully, I'm going to channel that this week about the relationship with money, the wounds around money, and how to heal that. We're going to have a light language transmission for healing the money wound as well. I just posted the new meditation. It's a new guided meditation, the Consciousness Bridge. It's available on my website that helps you along your journey to release, to bring in some wisdom from an ascended master or a spirit guide. So you can check that out. And we're going to have much, much more to come over the next few weeks. So stay tuned. I'm sending you all so much love, so much light, and we'll see you later. Bye.